Hello, Rick, new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Master League Premier Cup, and this time around we only have leagues available that need XL candy. So for most people, I guess it's going to be a bye week. You can still play those metas right now, but it's basically like a week where you need to have XL Pokemon, as you can see already. Same goes for the other cup. This is available, which is going to be the Master League. I'm going to try to get some gameplay for the current Hone event, which is coming up this weekend in Las Vegas. I'm of course not there. I'm from Europe. I'm not going to fly over for that. But if you're going there, definitely DM me on Twitter, because I'm interested in getting some gameplay for the new Pokemon, like primal versions, plus the new charge moves as well in the Master League. That would be really cool. But yeah, we're going to take a look today at the Premier Cup, and we will see here that, of course, the meta is basically the same as the Premier Classic version. So I think the playlist on my channel as well are going to be both cups together. We're going to have here the exact same meta, but you can say that some Pokemon will be more likely to appear than others. For example, Snorlax, I feel like not a lot of people have Snorlax yet. As an XL Pokemon, Florges was just available in the wild, so most likely Florges is going to be a little bit more common. Dragonite has a community day, Gyarados had a community day, Garchomp has a community day, Metagross had a community day, Ursaluna had a community day, so those Pokemon will be more common to be seen here. So, in general, it's going to be pretty much the same meta. You're going to face a lot of Snorlax, you're going to face a lot of Gyarados, because they are the safest Pokemon. Dragonite going to be everywhere, Florges is going to be pretty common, but not as common, even though it's rank 2. Garchomp basically being nowhere recently. Kinda want to try this Pokemon out again. We have Ursaluna, which actually is way better than you might expect. Excadrill, very, very strong Pokemon. Basically one of the freest Pokemon to use. And Mamoswine, way better now with high horsepower. So let's go right into the teams. The first team here going to be one that is definitely also kind of achievable. We have the Snorlax as a sales which is most likely the most difficult to get. But we also had some events with Snorlax already. So it should be still okay. We're going to have the Florges in the lead, which we just hit as a spawn in the recent event for the Valentine's Day. We're going to have the Swampert in the back. Very good Pokemon here as well. Very easy to get the XL candy for as well. And a very strong Mega Pokemon. So even if you're interested in Mega Pokemon, this is a very good one. Other strong Mega Pokemon, but way more difficult to get, would be Heracross in the back. You could also run something like Excadrill in the back if you want to as well, but this is one of like those standard teams that I also showcased before already. The meta itself doesn't really change too much for the Premier Cup anyway, so let's go right into the next team. The next team going to be a team around Magnezone. Magnezone going to be a very interesting lead in general, or the general Pokemon in this meta right now. Also, should be pretty okay-ish to get XL candies for this Pokemon. Like Magnemite was a common spawn in a lot of events already, so this should be fine. We're going to have the Say-Stop here of the Gyarados, which basically covers all weaknesses of this Pokemon. And then in the back we have Machamp, which is mainly there for the Steel-type Excadrill, which will be one of the hardest answers to this Pokemon. But yeah, this team should work out pretty well as well. In general, the combination between Magnezone and Gyarados is one of the most common one anyway there, especially also like we had like back in the day Ultra League or whatever. This team was also really decent like this. Nowadays everything is XL in Ultra League, so it's not as good anymore, but still a very cool team here. Should definitely work out. Of course, you can use something else in the back instead of the Machamp as well. That part beats Excadrill, like Heracross or Conkeldurr if you have the XL candy for this one. But yeah, this is going to be it for this team. Let's go to the next one. The next team going to be the Gyarados in the lead. I would actually go here for the Waterfall version compared to the Dragon Breath version, as this is going to give you better matchups against the Metagross as well as the Excadrill, as well as also like something like Magnezone, but like still Magnezone matchup is kind of iffy. You're going to have the Say-Stop here of Snorlax again, and you're going to have the Florges in the back. Basically, main idea, you have very good Pokemon in the lead that can beat most Steel-type Pokemon here. You're going to have a Say-Stop, which has access to Superpower, which will be able to still bait them out and still have some options to beat them. And then you have a Pokemon in the back that really doesn't want to face up against any Steel-type Pokemon, so Florges will be able to destroy those Dragon types that you, for example, also wouldn't be able to hit with your lead there. So it's a very balanced team that should definitely work out pretty well, but nothing too crazy either. The next team going to be a very balanced team. Again, we're going to have a lead here of the Machamp, which is going to have a very neutral matchup against a lot of Pokemon. We're going to have in the back here the Snorlax and also the Excadrill. You can also use, instead of the Excadrill, most likely something like the Magnezone. Magnezone helps you a little bit more against something like the Gyarados. But otherwise, this team seems to be very neutral. neutral. The combination between the elite and also the extra in the back is kind of similar to what you can run in the Ultra League as well, but then with Glare and Stunfisk. Very, very neutral team that has been around like this in this combination for ages and always worked, so this should still work in this meta as well. Next team here going to be our Swell Gyarados here with the Waterfall as a fast move. We're going to have the Say-Swap of the Mamoswine, which is now way, way better as a Say-Swap as you have access to the move High Horsepower. In the back, we can either have the Hisuian Everluck, which is more of a meme pick, but if you want to do like a very serious team here, of course, you can use the Metagross in the back. And this is actually a team that I really enjoyed already in earlier seasons. Very cool one, I really appreciate this one. It's a very, very strong one. Like in general, you basically get out the answers for the Metagross if you swap in your Mamoswine here as well. And Metagross in the back is usually like really easy to sweep the night game with that. You main what you mainly try with this team is try to get the shield advantage with your Mamoswine, because he has so much charge move pressure with both High Horsepower as well as the move Icicle Spear. Mamoswine is just so good at getting a shield advantage, which allows you later on to win with your Metagross here. But like the thing is with this team though, there's one weakness which would be Dragon Breath version of Gyarados itself. You can still deal with it, but maybe you could also even argue of going Dragon Breath yourself with your Gyarados. Really depends on what you face, and it really depends on it. But I think this team can definitely work out pretty well. Next team here going to be a double flyer team with a Steel type in the lead, which should work out really, really well. The thing is, here you're going to have the Say-Swap of the Gyarados, which is a very cool one for this one. You can actually run Hydro Pump on this one as well, I think, because this would be a little bit better against those Fairy types. But in general, you have like Extra in the lead, which is very good against Fairy types, or the Metagross, which is very good against Fairy types. You have the Say-Swap of the Gyarados trying to bait those Pokemon out of the way there, so your Dragonite can sweep endgame, and this team should work out pretty well. Dragonite is also something that you can easily get from recent community days as well. In general, I feel like Dratini is one of the most common spawns in the recent events. I don't know why, but like it's completely common now. But yeah. This team should definitely be accessible, all of the Pokemon, at least if you use Metagross in the lead. They are all Community Day Pokemon, so this should be something that you can build if you have the Stardust, which I don't really have the Stardust right now. Next team here going to be with Hexorus, again, a very classic one, having these Snorlax as a Say-Swap and like a Steel type in the back for those potential fairies. Hexorus is a very cool core breaker, as you will be able to do a lot of damage against those Steel types, even though you're a Dragon Pokemon as well. Thanks to the fast move counter, Night Slash as well, going to be super effective against other Metagross. Very cool Pokemon. It beats also something like Mamoswine with the counter as a fast move. Like, very, very interesting one. I have one fully XL. I think a lot of people don't have one, but I might want to take a look at this one again because I have one built fully XL, shiny as well. So, very cool Pokemon to use. And yeah, very old team that still should work pretty well. In general, the meta didn't really change too much recently. This can be a little tricky, by the way, against something like the Gyarados. Yeah, Gyarados can be a little bit of an issue for this team, but you can still deal with it. Especially if you can use something else like, for example, the Magnezone on the back again. Magnezone can also work out really well here as a Steel type in the back. The final team now going to be with the Dragonite in the lead. We have the Say-Swap with either the Ursaluna or the Snorlax again here. Ursaluna is actually a very cool Pokemon to use in this current meta here. This is completely underrated, but this Pokemon has access to the move Thunder Punch, which is very good against something like a Gyarados. You will be able to bait it out, you will be able to get a shield advantage or knock this Pokemon out as well, as you can take one Awkward Tail pretty easily. And you will also be able to go for the High Horsepower against a lot of Pokemon like Steel types that you don't want to face with your lead here. At the back, you're going to have either the Excadrill or the Metagross, which should work out pretty well as well. But Ursaluna as a Say-Swap looks like a lot of fun in this meta. In general, let me know in the comment section if you are playing this cup at all, or if you're going to go for a bye week, because right now, like, if you don't have XL Pokemon, it's impossible to play. Later on, like around 6 hours, I'm most likely going to make another video for the Open Master League with all the legendaries available and make a top team video for that. Stay tuned for that, and I see you in the next video. Bye!